Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about new digs, and Krabs a la mode. First, I'm going to talk about new digs. Enjoy! In the beginning of the episode, SpongeBob is getting ready for bed. However, he is so excited about going to work the next day that he cannot fall asleep. After speedily running around, it does not tire him. He drinks a glass of warm snail milk, which causes him to fall asleep within moments. The next morning, SpongeBob wakes up and finds out he overslept. He desperately rushes to get to the Krusty Krab, additionally forgetting his left shoe behind, even jumping over an unfinished bridge that is over a cliff to get there on time. Right when he puts his employee timecard in the slot, the clock changes to 9:01 a.m., making him 1 minute late. Worried that Mr. Krabs will punish him for being 1 minute late, SpongeBob begins working in overdrive to try and make up for his lost minute. Soon, Mr. Krabs notices his jumpiness and checks on him, but SpongeBob breaks down, telling Mr. Krabs that he was tardy, and he begs Mr. Krabs to not throw him out. Mr. Krabs does not scold him that much, even saying, "Don't do it again." But at SpongeBob's request, Mr. Krabs makes him clean the salad bar. Later, when it is quitting time, Squidward sarcastically suggests to SpongeBob that he should live at the Krusty Krab if he loves it so much. That night, SpongeBob brings his bed to the Krusty Krab and sleeps there. The next morning, Mr. Krabs is shockingly startled by SpongeBob's bed. SpongeBob tells Mr. Krabs that he is going to live at the Krusty Krab from then on. When Squidward finds out, he is overjoyed. That night, SpongeBob brings all of his furniture to the Krusty Krab to make himself feel more at home. The next morning, Squidward is thrilled that SpongeBob no longer lives next door to him. He happily tells the news to a customer. Later, when the customer asks Squidward for change, he gives him 2 socks and a pair of underwear. Squidward then notices the whole cash register is filled with socks and underwear. He asks SpongeBob why they are in there and where the money is. SpongeBob then says that the money is now being kept in a pickle jar. More socks and underwear are hanging up on a clothesline. A customer then takes a pair of underwear, thinking it is a napkin. SpongeBob then explains to Squidward that Gary has the mustard. Later, SpongeBob moves his furniture into Mr. Krabs' office. He pleads Mr. Krabs to stay in his office, under the condition of raising rent. Then, SpongeBob's parents come to the Krusty Krab. Gary's trail of slime gets all over the floor and customers keep slipping on it and injuring themselves. Luckily, Gary is carrying a wet floor sign. A customer who has Gary sticking onto his leg asks SpongeBob if Gary is his snail, and SpongeBob becomes angry at Gary for his behavior and removes him from the customer's leg. The customer then tells SpongeBob to put Gary on a leash as he goes back to his table. Not only has SpongeBob put his furniture in Mr. Krabs' office, he also places fancy-smelling soaps in the restrooms, and knitting napkin holders and embroidering the menus in the dining area, to the chagrin of Squidward and Mr. Krabs, who believes SpongeBob is taking the manliness out of the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs becomes furious when he notices floral print shower curtains in his office. He threatens to tear them down, but when he does, he accidentally finds Margaret Squarepants taking a shower, apologizing to her. Outraged, Harold Squarepants comes in and angrily beats up Mr. Krabs, who flees crazily. The customers leave the Krusty Krab in disgust when they find out SpongeBob is shaving Patrick's back hair in the kitchen, and Mr. Krabs cries for his loss of customers. Fed up with SpongeBob's antics, an infuriated Mr. Krabs forces SpongeBob to move out of the Krusty Krab and go back to his pineapple house. SpongeBob moves back to his house and plays his very loud drums, much to Squidward's dismay, who cries in distress. The next morning, Mr. Krabs returns to the Krusty Krab, but finds out that all of Squidward's stuff from his house is inside, as he decided to live at the restaurant, so he won't have to have SpongeBob for a neighbor, and probably to get back at Krabs for kicking SpongeBob out, much to the chagrin of Mr. Krabs, who yells, "Squidward!" Ending the episode. Next, I'm going to talk about Krabs a la mode. Enjoy! The episode starts off with the freezing weather in Bikini Bottom. Mr. Krabs' frugality has prevented him from adjusting the Krusty Krab's thermostat to any temperature besides 62 degrees Fahrenheit. An ice-cold wind howls as both SpongeBob and Squidward shiver from the cold. When Squidward tries to turn up the heat just 1 degree, an alarm triggers and Mr. Krabs angrily berates him, stating no one is allowed to change to the temperature to anything other than 62 in order to save money on heating. This allows Plankton to get an idea to freeze his competition out of business. Having hidden in an old man's drink, Plankton is swallowed alive, and has to wait until the old man accidentally stays in the bathroom long enough to be locked into the restaurant overnight. Then Plankton lets a faucet run, opens a freezer, and turns the thermostat to sub-freezing temperatures. The next morning, Squidward complains even more about how cold it is outside. When he, SpongeBob, and Mr. Krabs arrive at the Krusty Krab, they discover the whole restaurant is frozen, but Mr. Krabs doesn't notice and tells his employees to get to work. After he and SpongeBob slip on the icy floor, Squidward asks Mr. Krabs to turn up the heat, but does not allow him to turn up the thermostat because he is somehow fooled by the clearly taped scrap of paper that says 62, that Plankton placed over the actual temperature display. Squidward notes that there are even icicles on the ceiling, but Krabs ignores this and forbids them from touching the thermostat. Soon the customers start to leave due to SpongeBob and Squidward slipping on the entirely ice-covered floor with their food. Plankton sees the customers leaving and rejoices. He then puts up a sign saying that the chum bucket is warm and speaks to a fish walking by, who is frightened by Plankton's eye looking through the huge telescope. Plankton is very angry when he then sees the customers go back into the Krusty Krab with winter wear. Mr. Krabs has turned the restaurant into an ice rink complete with a Clamboni ride for children. SpongeBob has invented patty skates to help him, Squidward, and the customers keep their balance. The customers even prefer cold Krabby Patties, making Mr. Krabs very happy to sell Krabby Patties without even needing to cook them, claiming that he has made even more money than with the old Krusty Krab. The local hockey team even pays Mr. Krabs to practice inside the restaurant. Plankton spots Mr. Krabs with his money and becomes enraged. Karen suggests that Plankton steal a Krabby Patty, and he makes an attempt to do so. SpongeBob tries to intervene, but he keeps getting hit by the hockey team, who are using the patty as a puck. Eventually, Plankton succeeds in grabbing the patty and hijacks the Clamboni. He aims to run over SpongeBob, Squidward, and the local hockey team, but a massive pile-up occurs at the door as Plankton squishes them and blocks the exit. Ultimately, the Clamboni breaks down, much to Plankton's frustration and Mr. Krabs' delight. Though he cries after failing to steal the patty and Mr. Krabs takes it back, Plankton doesn't give up as he goes over to the thermostat and reveals the true temperature. This infuriates Mr. Krabs, who finally realizes Squidward was right about the temperature and attempts to attack Plankton for his actions. However, Plankton begins freezing and boiling him and the other patrons by repeatedly turning the dial in both directions. He then falls off the dial, allowing Mr. Krabs to turn the tables and freeze him for revenge. Later, in the following summertime, Mr. Krabs turns the whole Krusty Krab into a popular public swimming pool, relaxing on a floating chair, while he thanks Plankton trapped in an ice cube for his ideas, and sips lemonade with Plankton as the ice in the drink, resulting in Plankton screaming in frustration, ending the episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.